it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and today I'm sharing with you a sped up and voiced over version of the Art Joy of Sharing live stream show from the June 14th. The theme was Flower Power. So I have some paper napkins that have flowers. I have some stamps, some washi tape, things like that, all that have a flower theme. Of course, they're readily available. Flowers are everywhere. People love the theme of flowers. So I'm doing a 6x6 canvas panel mixed media style. And the first thing that I did for the first layer was to put on some paper napkins, not like a whole paper napkin, but just bits and pieces of different ones that had flowers in the colors that I liked. I was going for reds, oranges, pinks, and yellows, and then of course a little bit of green thrown in because flowers have leaves. So, and the leaves are usually green. So I'm covering my entire panel with these napkins, and I'm using a water tank brush to tear out pieces of the napkins. I'll of course save those leftovers and use them on different projects. You certainly don't need to get rid of them. And so my entire panel is covered. I'm not going for composition here. I just want a bunch of riotous color in floral shapes. So that is all done, and I'm going to dry it with my heat tool. And then my next layer is stamping, and these are just some random stamps from Stampin' Up. They're probably discontinued, but there are tons of abstract floral stamps out there in the world. There's plenty to be chosen from. I'm using the same type of a color palette as is in the napkins in these Archival inks, just to add more pattern. I want it to be completely covered with pattern. No spots left blank, just completely covered, because I'm going to be doing some negative painting, or exclusion technique as I call it, because you exclude the background to make the foreground come out. So once that layer is done, I decide to add some floral washi tapes in the same type of colors, and I'm using some matte medium with those as well, because washi tape doesn't always want to stick down. So I'm making sure that it's completely stuck and sealed into the project using the gel matte medium from Liquitex. For the napkins, I use the liquid matte medium. It kind of makes a difference on what type of paper you're going on as to which medium you use. But my preference is always the gel formula. It's just for a very thin tissue or napkin type of stuff, you do need the liquid stuff. It works better. The other will kind of grab the paper and tear it. So you kind of need both types of matte medium. So then my final step, as far as my background layer, was to put some text type, script type stuff on there using the permanent black ink from Memento. And then I sealed all that in, and I wanted it all to be one layer at this point. No bumps, no whatever. So I used clear gesso. I didn't want to use white gesso because that would dull the colors. So I used the clear gesso over it and gave that a good dry. Then I'm taking my white Stabilo All pencil so that I can see what I'm doing, and I'm drawing a floral motif over the top of the background. And it would be nice if I could do it in black, but I didn't want hard, heavy lines. I wanted something that I could see, but that wasn't obtrusive, and that would kind of fade away as I went to the next layer. So I can't name these flowers for you. They are just something that I drew. It's not a specific flower or specific flowers, because there are different ones. And so once I was happy with my drawn composition, then the next thing to do is to get some paints, and I'm going to use titanium white, portrait pink, Naples yellow, and I'm going to use a water brush and paint out the background. So I'm not painting the flowers, I'm painting the opposite of flowers, the negative of the flowers, the background. I'm going to exclude it, and then when that is all painted out, then the flowers that I drew are what you see in the foreground. And I don't want a real thick layer. I don't want, I like having a little bit of the patterning showing through. So that's the reason that I use the water brush. And I also use a wet baby wipe to just kind of blot a little bit so that you can still see some of the pattern. It's not completely obliterated. And I just kind of blend as I'm going using different whites, pinks, and yellows in different areas. I don't want it all to be one solid color because I do like pattern. So that's just kind of how I do it, is with the water brush. Picking up a little bit of pink, picking up a little bit of white, you know, back and forth, like that. And now as you look at the screen, you can really see that the drawing is what you see and the background is pushed backwards. So when that's dry, then I start in with some shading to give a little bit more detail to the drawing. So this is my Stabilo All graphite colored pencil. I didn't want to go with the real harsh black. I wanted to go with the gray. So this one is more subtle. And I'm, of course, activating that pencil with a water tank brush to kind of blend it in and just basically add a darker shadow into the composition so that it gives the flowers a starting and stopping place and also some shadows. Makes it a little bit more easy to read what is there. This was a real fun process. Of course, you can go over and watch it in real time on the Art Joy of Sharing live stream channel, and I'll make sure that that link, as well as all the links to the products that I used on this project, are in the description box below. And I'll probably put the link in the iCard too, or else the end screen somewhere. You'll be able to find that, so you can go over to the live stream channel and watch and listen to us chatter. It's always fun over there because there's an audience and we can talk to people and talk to each other, and it's different than being in your studio alone. So then my next step is to use this set of Posca pins, which is called Naturals. You can purchase these on Amazon. They're from Japan, but I don't know why they call it Naturals. To me, I would say they're tints or pastels, but I use those as well as a white. And then also the water brush again to add what I consider highlights, but they're colored. So it just gives a little bit of cohesion to the colors by adding just a little bit of color, like this light aqua on the leaves and stems, and some yellow in the centers, and some of this orangey coral color on some of the petals. It finishes off the idea of what I was going for here, kind of. It's not taking away the background, though, because I spent all that time building that background. I don't want to take it away. It's still there. It's just highlighted with a little bit of extra oomph. So the final thing that I did on this project, which you won't be able to see me doing on the video, is as you're looking through the pictures at the end, you'll see that the texture, it's very textured because of the napkins, and then also that it was on canvas. So I did pour a coat of Envirotex resin over it, and I do have one photo there that you'll be able to see. It changes the look of it because it's going to have a very shiny, very hard finish over it. But I can't handle it right now because it's, of course, drying for 24 hours. So you won't see that. Also, I did add a little bit more texture into the painted areas by using some titanium white through a stencil, a little circular stencil, just because I thought it needed that. So if you like this, please give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment or question below, subscribe, and check and make sure that you are subscribed, because there was some problems with my channel. And of course, turn on your notifications, and then pin this to your Pinterest or share it somewhere else. That's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.